In this video, we're going to talk about Yerevan. The population is 1,081,000 people. It's the capital of Armenia, a country located in the South Caucasus region of Eurasia. Right over here. Let's start. When you arrive at the airport, which is 12 kilometers away from the city, first thing you're going to notice is a huge wine bottle statue. That's because Armenia is famous for its wines and cognac. I suggest you rent a car if you could. This way you can travel outside of the city as well. You come to the city and you almost feel like you're back in time. Soviet time. That's because Yerevan still has a lot of architecture from the Soviet period. The core of the city is the Republic Square, with musical fountains and colonnaded government buildings. This is where they have city celebrations, and in the evening it's a popular place to go see the fountain show. There's a good choice of restaurants with a nice view, and we are on this rooftop. The city is really small and walkable. From the Republic Square you can walk to Northern Avenue, which is a pedestrian street that was opened in 2007. This new area has a lot of restaurants and shops. It's home to some upscale residential buildings and offices, coffee shops and hotels. From here you can walk towards the Yerevan Opera Theater, a magnificent building. There is a beautiful small park with an artificial lake called Swan Lake behind it. And the final destination on our walking tour will be the Cascade. The Cascade is a giant stairway made of limestone with multiple levels, adorned with fountains and sculptures. This is where you want to be if you want to have some fun in the evening. There are plenty of cafes and restaurants, people chilling, and just good vibes, so really enjoyed it. Although I'll tell you, I was shocked when they charged me $10 for a glass of fresh pomegranate juice, because I knew that Yerevan was a very affordable city, so that was unexpected. But later I figured out it's because prices vary depending on the season. It is a post-Soviet country, so the majority of the population can speak Russian fluently, while the younger generation can speak pretty good English. I was lucky because I can speak both. So, isn't it time to do some exciting things? That's what I was thinking, and I decided to go ziplining. There's a new zip line in the city. It's 870 meters long, and it goes under that bridge. Can you guys imagine ziplining from here and under the bridge for 1 kilometer at a speed of 140 kilometers an hour? Maybe I was doing it wrong because you're supposed to keep a certain body position to gain more speed, but I couldn't reach the other station and slid back, and I was just hanging in there in the air about 100 meters above the ground. So I had to wait for 5-10 minutes before they were able to get me to the station. That was quite an experience. I had plenty of time to reflect on my life and trivial things that actually don't matter, but great attraction nevertheless. To get a good view of the city and take some pictures, you might want to come to the Victory Park. If you're lucky enough, you'll be able to see Mount Ararat, which was historically part of Armenia. It's the highest mountain in the region. Now it's located in Turkey, but clearly visible from Armenia. Legend goes that when Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia, was visiting Yerevan, he had to wait for 2 days to see it. Here you'll also find Mother Armenia's statue, which was erected in 1967. Replacing the statue of Joseph Stalin, a dictator that was rejected even by Soviet leaders that succeeded him. In this park you'll also find some military equipment and a small amusement park for kids. Let's take a look at it. As you notice, many buildings in the city are pink. That's because they're made of local volcanic pink tough stone. As I mentioned, renting a car is a good idea. They built some new highways with a maximum permitted speed of 100 kilometers an hour. Armenia is famous for its mountains and monasteries. And with a car, you can easily visit some monasteries outside of the city like Garni Temple. Built around the 1st century, it's the only Greco-Roman colonnaded building in the post-Soviet countries. Gagarin Monastery is a medieval monastery being partially carved out of the adjacent mountain. Surrounded by cliffs, it was founded in the 4th century by Gregory the Illuminator at the site of a sacred spring inside of a cave. About a 30-minute drive away from the city, you'll find Zvartnots Cathedral. It's a 7th century Armenian cathedral. Now it's in ruins, so it requires some imagination to picture what the cathedral might have looked like. Did you know that Yerevan turned 2,800 years old in 2018? Erebuni Fortress is located within the city. It was a fortified city founded in 782 BC. So technically, Yerevan is 29 years older than Rome. And of course, if you drive for about an hour away from the city, you can reach Savan Lake. This is the largest freshwater lake of the Caucasus. Set about 2 kilometers above sea level and covering 1,240 square kilometers, it's one of the largest freshwater high-altitude lakes in the world. Of course, during the summer there are plenty of water activities like jet skiing and boating and whatnot. You can visit Armenian Genocide Memorial Complex, sits in Akabad, dedicated to the victims of the Armenian Genocide. Armenian Apostolic Christianity is the predominant religion in Armenia, and the Cathedral of St. Gregory the Illuminator Cathedral, or just the Yerevan Cathedral, is the largest cathedral of the Armenian Apostolic Church. But you'll be surprised to stumble upon the Blue Mosque in the central part of the city. It's an 18th century Shia mosque, one of the oldest and the most significant buildings from the city's Iranian period. During the Soviet times it served as a history museum, but following Armenia's independence, the mosque was renovated with the support from the Iranian government, and again started operating as a mosque, serving the Iranians residing in Yerevan. When it comes to public transportation, they have a subway, which is just a straight line with 10 stations. It was opened in 1981. The city has a well-developed network of buses, similar to other post-Soviet countries. When it comes to economy, agriculture still remains important, accounting for about 2/5 of the gross domestic product. Sadly, salaries are still low, about $330 a month. A lot of people still live in shabby apartment blocks that look like the buildings you see on the screen, although new apartment blocks are being built. I've noticed how things are slowly starting to change for the better. The IT industry is developing fast, however, many people would still prefer to go live abroad given the chance. I was staying at a hostel and there were 2 local ladies working there, and I asked them if that was true that a lot of people want to move abroad. And one of them said that she recently won a green card and it was just a matter of months before she would go to the US. I said, "Where in the US?" She said, "Glendale, California." If you didn't know this, Glendale, California has a huge Armenian population. Another interesting fact is that there are more Armenians living abroad than in Armenia itself. International tourism is growing. Most tourists come from Russia, Iran, and the US, and now there's quite a number of Chinese tourists as well. Because of the high rate of unemployment, many local taxi drivers became tour guides, and for a very affordable price they can take you to all the places of interest around the city. Accommodation is cheap. Let me show you what I was staying. When it comes to hotels, what kind of room can you expect to get in Yerevan, and what are the prices? So for this room, you see this is a living room, spacious bathroom, the bedroom. I only paid $35 a night. $35, you know, great price. Did you know that Armenia is #1 in the world when it comes to vehicles running on natural gas? 77% of the city cars run on natural gas. Crime rate is very low. Yerevan is one of the safest cities in the world. However, you should be careful when crossing the streets, even on green light. Some drivers, especially young boys with hot heads, want to show off their cars and speeding, breaking the traffic rules, so just be careful. Okay, so how was Yerevan for you? Let me know in the comments.
Классное авто!